I don't know one person who doesn't universally love, male, female, whatever, love Ryan Reynolds. I know that is on Sandy's top three. That I know that for a fact. I don't even have to ask. But no, Ryan Reynolds.
And it's at least in your top five, right?
There's a party going on right here, a dedication to last throughout the years. So bring your good times and your laughter too. We're going to celebrate, gonna party with you. Come on now.
Celebration. I thought you were going to do it.
Almost on key.
Yeah.
Almost on key as we start episode number 177 of the Promo Upfront podcast. I am one of your hosts, Bill Petrie. With me, as always, it's the Brigadier General of Black Friday himself, the general of all gobblers, the one and only Kirby Hasseman.
Yeah.
Kirby, how are you?
I'm doing well, buddy. I was just saying right before we hit record, I was lamenting that I did not schedule properly. So I'm a little bit more busy on this day than I really prefer to be as we limp into the Thanksgiving holiday. I am looking forward to that, spending some time with the family. So once I kind of get through just some of the hecticness of this day, because we are obviously recording a little bit early, I think it's going to be great, man. How are you?
I'm good. I did schedule properly, so I have a very pretty light day today.
Nice.
I've got some promo cruise follow-up to do, but for the most part, just kind of easing into the long weekend, which is always a good thing.
Yeah.
But as I kind of looked at my calendar this morning, Kirby, I got to thinking, as things often do. A lot of times as we record this award-winning podcast, we've talked about how easy it is to use Evans as a supplier, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've shared testimonials from distributors explaining how Evans alleviates stress because their entire ethos is built around making lives easier of their distributor partners.
Sure.
They really want to do that. But you know what? I don't want to talk about that today.
What are you talking about? Why would you not want to talk about that?
I don't. That's right. I don't want to talk about I don't want to talk about that easy part of it. I want to talk about their amazing products. That's what I want to talk about, Kirby.
Okay.
These are products. Yeah, of course it makes sense. These are products that are truly built for every life and lifestyle. From the kitchen, and that's where we know most promotional products are used and kept, to drinkware for every on-the-go lifestyle, to eco-friendly, sustainable merchandise. Evans truly has something for every budget and every client. Heck, they even have gorgeous gift box sets to make holiday gift giving a breeze, a summer breeze. Even though we're in fall, you can get that summer breeze because of Evans, right?
Yeah.
Kirby, I know you're always on the lookout for great products, and Evans really should be your first stop, shouldn't it?
Well, and I think one of the things that you look at is those suppliers who have a diverse product range, right? You talked about it, whether it's eco-friendly or drinkware or kitchen, which could be kitchen as well with the drinkware. But when you can kind of go across price points and different categories, that's a great place to start when you're looking for client gifts, for sure.
Kirby, I couldn't have said it better myself, even if I wrote it for you, which I didn't. As part of the HPG family of companies, they are dedicated to more than just making your distributor life easier. They create amazing quality merchandise that is thoughtful, intentional, and useful. To learn more, why don't you go ahead and pause this podcast right now, head over to evans-mfg.com. You won't be sorry you did. All right, Kirby. This is episode number 177. And as I look at my giant flow chart, which is off screen, I believe today is your day to start us off with the upfront portion of the podcast. I'm giddy with anticipation. I don't think our audience should wait any longer to get your topic. So what I'd like you to do when I'm done speaking in my human voice to you, I'd like you to go ahead and give us that topic in a manner in which you choose, which is most likely verbal as opposed to written, which wouldn't be seen on a podcast. But if you could go ahead and do that with a little bit of velocity, a little bit of efficiency, I think I would appreciate it. I know both of our listeners would as well. So if you would, please give us that first topic for the Promo Upfront podcast, episode number 177.
Okay. So in case you needed another reason to think Ryan Reynolds is genius. This will be probably a pretty quick topic, but I just thought this was super fun. I saw this headline from ASI News. I think it was Chris Ruvo who wrote this, so I want to give proper creds to it. But Wrexham has partnered with Vistaprint to create their merch store. Have you seen anything about this?
I have not, but I'm a huge fan of Ryan Reynolds, so I'm already all in.
Yeah, it's so him and is it Rob McElhenney? They for those who don't know, bought ownership of the Wrexham football club, and I don't mean to say it, but football as in soccer club,
European football.
Yeah, thank you. And so they did a campaign and an ad where they're both on a Zoom call kind of thing, and they said, "Hey," Rob says to Ryan, "We ran out of merch," and they're like, "How'd this happen? All the demand's been great." And so they actually built a merch store. So they partner with Vistaprint. So they have a hat that has an imprint of their hat. They have a T-shirt that has an imprint of their T-shirt, and and they actually did. The video was really, really well done because they actually kind of rolled in a kind of a plug for Vistaprint, which is a sponsor for their team. And it was, again, no surprise that they would do something that was just kind of tongue in cheek, really fun. But they literally have T-shirts that you can buy that have the T-shirt imprinted on the T-shirt. So it's the merch store. Just want to get I wanted to tell you about it and see what you thought.
I think it's awesome. Like I said, a lot of people in our industry, like, they hear Vistaprint and they immediately bristle and, get irritated. I don't get that. I don't think you do either. I think it's the same reaction I see with 4imprint. Again, I don't get it. It's things you can't control what other companies are doing. So focus on your own stuff. That being said, I think this is awesome. I think it's creative. It's ridiculous to wear a shirt on a shirt.
It's so ridiculous. It's brilliant.
Basically what you're saying. It's proofs on a shirt, essentially, right? I think it's brilliant. And again, I don't. Most people in their lives have arcs. Build them up, tear them down, tear them down. I don't know one person who doesn't universally love, male, female, whatever, love Ryan Reynolds. I know that is on Sandy's top 3. That I know that for a fact. I don't even have to ask. But no, Ryan Reynolds,
and it's at least in your top 5, right?
Oh, maybe top 1. But let's not talk about that right now. No, but he is genius, and he is. He's a guy who's fabulously talented as an actor. He's very funny. He's extremely quick-witted, but he also has that wonderful, or seems to have that wonderful entrepreneurial brain you have. I don't. I am an accidental entrepreneur. We've talked about that. But you're a serial entrepreneur, but so is Ryan Reynolds. I mean, he has the Mint Mobile, and he has the Aviation Gin, which I might be going to the candy store today to get some, but that's beside the point again. But again, very cool stuff. I think it's pretty interesting. I think it's
totally worth checking out. I'll send you the link so you can see the images.
Hey, Kirby, I know you love a good sale. We've talked about this before, but I may have one today that's going to blow your glasses off your Coshocton head.
Okay.
And it comes direct from our pals at Kanata. Their best-selling original lamb's wool, the luxurious, plush, and incredibly comfortable reversible throw, and it's offered in a wide range of colors, 50 inches by 60 inches, is available at an insane, and I've seen the pricing. I'm not allowed to share the pricing. That's how insane the pricing is. It's nuts, completely nuts. But it's only available till December 10th of this year. And it really, and I'm not joking, all joking aside, this is a really great deal. So you may want to head over to kanatapromo.com, look up the original lamb's wool, and you're going to see some really ridiculous pricing on that. Just go to the special section of the website and you'll see it. And it's a great time for those last minute gifts that feel luxurious at a great price. You trust me, you'll thank Kirby and I later if you do that. All right, Kirby. So I've got a topic today. I just want to do some industry quick bites. We've had a couple of with the promo cruise and a couple other things. We've had podcasts that kind of bounced around a little bit.
Yeah.
And didn't. So we've missed some industry bites. So I'm just going to tell you the quick story. I want your opinion on it. We can bounce back and forth, and we're going to finish this up real quick.
Okay.
Order My Gear buys Distributor Central. We did not talk about OMG.
Yeah.
Word of my gear bought Distributor Central.
Yeah, that was one that I actually, I had heard. I think you hear rumblings that maybe different places are being marketed or whatever. But that was one that actually did surprise me. It feels like Order My Gear is really making some waves in the industry.
I agree that I wonder, I know obviously a lot of people who we know very well have left Distributor Central, Tiffany Tarr most recently, but David Schultz and Jason Noakes. And so I knew Aubrey Weaver was there. I didn't know who else was there. I'm sure they had some developers. So I think it's a smart move for Order My Gear. I also think it's actually a smart move for Distributor Central because I think they kind of needed that cachet to kind of move forward, whatever iteration they're going to be, whether it's their product search or whatever. So I think it's a good deal for everybody. Rob Watson returns to Vantage to be CEO. That's Chief Executive Officer, Kirby.
Yeah, no, again, I like you said, that was definitely a splashy headline that caught my attention. I don't know Rob, but I know the reputation. And so yeah, that seemed like a pretty big deal.
Yeah, I know Rob a little bit, very, very, very little. Worked at ASI and has had a couple different jobs, but I think this is the one he wanted, and I think this is where he's going to be able to make the most hay. So I think it's a great fit for him, and so good luck to them. Last one, Kirby. Bell Promo names Alan Tabaski president. I love this one. Love your opinion.
Yeah, no, that was another one of those things that again, these are all folks. Every single one of these were like, I don't know the players that well involved, but just Alan has a great reputation in the industry. I've really been, I guess my take is that I've been so impressed with Susan and the team down there, Tom, the whole crew. Actually, got to really spend some time on the promo cruise with them, and it's affected how we see them as an organization. And obviously, Alan has a ton to do with that.
Yeah. Alan and Susan have done such a tremendous job of really turning that ship in terms of reputation, turning that reputation ship around. And you don't turn the old saying is you don't turn the Queen Mary on a dime. It takes time. And that's a nice rhyme, by the way. There you go. And I'm feeling fine. So, but they've done such a tremendous job. I think Alan is poised for that role, and I think he's going to do a great job. And then obviously you have Susan there running the day by day, and then you have people like Tom, who is salt of the earth, great human. I love what Bell's doing. They took the long approach because that was the right approach. They knew they couldn't do it quickly. It had to be done the right way. So love this very much. So those are your quick hit industry bites for 2023. All right, Kirby, do you have another topic for us?
I do. Okay, so I thought this was really, really pretty cool. This is a marketing piece, and the quote starts with, "We all realized that for this to work, it had to be Snoop Dogg." So
I know exactly what you're talking about. I had it on a list to talk about.
Yeah. So it turns out the report that Snoop Dogg, a man who owns a cannabis company and employs full-time personal blunt roller, said that he was giving up marijuana were just a part of a marketing stunt. And so it was pretty funny because he came out on social media and said he was giving up smoke. But it turns out it was just a part of promoting a smokeless solo stove fire pit. And the company announced that he was the new spokesman. So I know I'm heavy on celebrity marketing right now, but I thought this was really fun. As one copywriter at the agency said, he's the only person on the planet who had the level of charisma, brand ambassadorship, and most importantly, a smoke-related public persona to pull this off. So I just thought this was fun.
Not only fun, genius.
Yeah.
Because the way they rolled it out, on like a Wednesday or Thursday, of Snoop just saying, "I'm giving up smoke. Please respect my privacy at this time." and again, I was like, "There's no way on hell's whatever, no way that dude's giving up weed. No, absolutely no way." However,
so it caught your attention, right?
Oh, 100% caught my attention. But I'm like, it's no way it's weed. I wonder what it is. And so when it became Solo Stove, what a brilliant campaign. It's a quick campaign, right? I mean, the life cycle of this is 6 days, 7 days. Now we talk about it, maybe another week because people will talk about it. Brilliant, brilliant. And I think you agree with me. I'd like to add on to your topic, if I may, because I thought I actually had a section of great marketing, and that was one of them.
Okay.
The other is the Rolling Stones are going on tour, and I don't know if you've seen who is sponsoring their tour.
I have not seen.
In a stroke of obvious genius, the American Association for Retired People,
Okay.
AARP, is sponsoring the Rolling Stones tour, and I think that's brilliant as well.
Yeah.
You know, I know I'm 54 now. I was 53 yesterday. I'm 54 now.
Happy birthday,
I
buddy.
started getting my AARP stuff when I was 50, and it's a little unsettling because, like, I am nowhere near a retired person, but it's
Yeah.
you get it,
Yeah.
and I've joined. I'm not going to lie, I've joined. I got my little card, and I get my 4% discounts at hotel rooms across this great land. But the fact that they are going to sponsor the Rolling Stones tour, a group that, you know, obviously Mick Jagger, Keith Richards, Ron Wood, the three main guys still alive, are well into their late 70s, if not early 80s, I think is brilliant. I wanted to get your take on that.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I actually was having this conversation yesterday on a completely different topic, and how, you know, so many times when it comes to marketing, our clients, we want to kind of sand off the rough edges because we
Yeah.
don't want to be too risque. And obviously,
Right.
I don't think you should be manipulative and be risque just for
No.
risque sake. But the idea of doing things that stand out in a crowded marketplace is something that I don't know that we spend enough time trying to do. And so
Yeah.
I think both of these are things where you're just like, the brands line up in such a way
Yeah.
that it's just perfection. I mean, both like if you'd have told me, you know, AARP, Ben Gay, Metamucil, whatever, right? You'd have been like,
Yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah.
So that's good
It's a
stuff.
chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. All right. Since you did take one of my topics today,
Yeah. Okay.
I would actually like to talk about 2024 business trend predictions. Actually, I don't think it makes sense today.
Okay.
I do have it, but I don't want to talk about it. I want to talk about the backlash against self-checkout lanes and how this impacts brands. So
Okay.
when I say this, I don't know how it impacts you. I really mean it because Coshocton is a smaller town.
Mhm.
You have more limited options in terms of grocery stores, things like that.
But there's self-checkout for sure. Yeah.
Okay. So it's gone overboard here where I live. I mean,
Okay.
there are times I go to so we have two Krogers, both equidistant from each other. We have the Quickie Mart Kroger over here, and then we
Okay.
have the big Kroger over there.
Okay.
At the big Kroger, it's probably 16 checkout lines that are empty. And they have these regular the self-checkout lines where you have a little rotating basket of shopping bags you put your stuff in, but then they also have these conveyor belts now where I'm standing at a conveyor belt scanning my stuff, putting it down the conveyor belt, and then I have to go bag it. I am over it. And
Okay.
I think most of Americans are too. And most companies are. So most companies are starting to rethink these self-checkout lines in terms of it leads to higher merchandise losses due to customer errors and intentional shoplifting.
Of course.
And
Yeah.
as a consumer, I get irritated because I'm just trying to get out of the grocery store,
Right.
and then things don't scan exactly right. I've got to get the red light goes on. Someone's got to help me, and then I got to bag my groceries, and I have to do it under pressure because there's someone right there waiting to check out too. I want to get your take on self-checkout lines and debate that a little bit with you.
Yeah, I know. So for the most part, we've got a couple of places in town that offer self-checkout.
Yep.
I love self-checkout when it is, I'm running in, I've got 6 to 10 items. I'm going to boom, boom. I don't have to deal with anybody. I grab my stuff and go. I love it. And it's funny because my parents are always bitching about self-checkouts. Like I'm not being paid to do this. And
Right.
I'm like, yeah, but I actually like it. Again, it depends on, if I have to idly chit chat with somebody so I can get out of there. I don't love that a lot of times.
Yeah.
Now if I'm going through with a whole thing, cart full of groceries, then yeah, that seems like a bigger investment. And so that's where I'll go through a line because I'm like, I want help putting it all together. So that short and sweet. I love them. The idea of doing a grocery cart full, no. And I think that the other thing I would say is Now, if they can't get help, which if I just want to give grace,
that's the reason.
yeah. If they're not willing to pay help, it's different, right? Because if they're not willing to pay help, you're going to lose that money in stolen merchandise. It would pay off if you can afford them.
I agree with you 100%. When I'm getting 5 or 6 things, I know what I want. I'm coming in and out. I love the self-checkout. It's frictionless. I don't have to have a big conversation. I can just go. I agree with you. When I get more than, when I get a shopping cart full of stuff, it irritates me. It irritates me a great deal. And especially a point you just said, which you didn't know you stole from me, but you did. So right down the street from the big Kroger is Publix, which is a southeastern chain of grocery stores that notoriously pays better.
Yeah.
They don't have problems getting help. And I've talked to the guy at Kroger who's, God bless him, he's running around between 7 different self-checkout lines, managing all the lights that are going on and off.
Yeah, because again, if you want to buy a beer, you gotta whatever,
or razor blades even. Yeah. And he's point blank told me we can't get anyone to work. Well, that's a pay problem then. Why is it work over at Publix and not here? Right. And then plus the other thing with the self-checkout lines I don't like, I have all the liability, by the way.
Yeah.
And if I accidentally not scan something, which can happen with a regular checker, right? Yeah. Or if I get fruit and I put the number in wrong. So I bought maybe Granny Smith apples. That was what I intended to buy, but I put in the code for Braeburn apples. I have all the liability. So if I walk out of that store, guess who's getting arrested? Me.
Right.
And they have no grace for that because they're so worried about, there are easy ways around this to shoplift. I've seen it. So I'm just kind of over I'm over the whole self-checkout line. I just, again, for short things, it's great. It's great. Yeah. All right, Kirby, do you have any other quick topics, or are we going into our picks of the day?
I'd love to give you one more quick one. Is that all right? Okay. Just because this is very specific to you. This is something I've had for a week or so. And you are someone who likes this. So is there a sign that F1 bubble is about to burst?
No. Good.
Okay. So essentially, extensive transformation to turn the streets of Sin City into a Formula One circuit. The Grand Prix did not attract nearly the brouhaha that I think owners had in mind. Lackluster ticket sales, waning hotel room rates. So the question that was asked was this a sign that, that people aren't as excited about? Because F1 kind of went way up, and then everybody was talking about it. And so there was some question of whether this was a sign that there was a dwindling of interest in F1. And I have not had a spike in interest, so my interest has stayed the same. So I wanted your take.
So the answer is no, but I understand exactly what you're saying. The first practice came in to F1, and they did not secure all the manhole covers.
Okay.
And so a manhole cover popped up and basically destroyed Carlos Sainz, driver for Ferrari's car. And so the practice was shut down in 9 minutes. This has happened at other circuits that are new. And then they had to wait to do practice 2, which meant that the union security people had timed out. So they had to move everybody out. So the first day was an abject disaster. 100%, no question about it. The race itself, and then they got everything correct. They had practice 2, they had practice 3, qualifying and all that, and everything went off without a hitch. And the race was honestly, as someone who watches every week or every race, the most exciting race of the year in terms of overtakes and in terms of actual racing. Its first year, I think you got to give it some grace. Sure. That being said, I wouldn't want to live in Las Vegas during the construction of that stuff. I wouldn't want to, live through that at all. And what the people of Las Vegas went through, painful, very, very painful. So that's my take on it.
All right. Well, good. So I have no take.
I think we're about to do some football picks, but I think we have a special guest over here to my left.
Oh,
if you
perfect.
would put this in your left ear so you can hear what Kirby is saying, special guest.
Oh, good.
Kirby, say hi to our special guest. You have no idea who it is.
Hello, special guest.
Can you hear him? Oh, okay. So here is our special guest coming in to pick. Come on over, special guest player man.
Hello, everybody.
It is, you have
All
to
right.
speak in here loud. No, none other than Mitch Petrie, my son, who's here home from college, who goes to the University of
Alabama. Roll Tide.
Okay. Roll Tide. All
Don't
right,
Roll
cool.
Tide.
Yeah.
All right. So he knows the deal. So again, we are doing football picks for good. Last week, Kirby had a rough week. Let's be honest. He went 2-4, which leaves him at 43-17. I, on the other hand, went 5-1, and I picked the exact score, which has been documented before the game, the exact score of the Eagles-Chiefs game, which gives me an additional 47 points. So I sit at, okay, maybe not. I sit at 39-21. So I'm creeping up to you, Kirby. So
yeah,
this
you
is
had an
a big
exceptional week in order to be
I
4
did.
down.
I did. So Mitch is show everybody how excited you are.
Oh, I'm super excited. I can't wait to profess some football knowledge to everybody.
All right.
Okay, you got to remember, we record at 8 a.m. This is an at-home college student.
Well done. Sir.
That what you
Well
saw
done.
is actual real excitement.
That's real excitement.
Because he's going to bed right after this.
Right, well, back to bed.
Back to bed.
Okay.
All right. So we picked 3 college, 3 pros, not against the spread, just straight up win. Let's start off with the Egg Bowl. The Egg Bowl, the Ole Miss Rebels ranked 13th, heading into Starkville. That's going to be a tough one to play Mississippi State Thursday night. Kirby, who do you got?
Yeah. So usually Mr. Bill gives me these just a little bit in advance, but I haven't seen these. So this is the first I'm hearing of it. I'm going Ole Miss on this one.
Okay. Mitch, how about you?
This is going to be definitely an unpopular take, but I'm going to go with the Bulldogs here. Their interim head coach led them to a bowl win a couple years ago, and I think they could do the same at home against Ole Miss.
Love it.
Okay,
right.
So he's going to go Bulldog. His brother will like that, who is going to the Egg Bowl.
Okay.
I'm going to go with the Rebels as well. I did a lot of research this week, and I tell you what, Ole Miss has been working on their sleep deprivation tactics. They're going to have people up and ready to go. I think you're going to look for a big win from Ole Miss. All right, next one, the Civil War. Boy, this is going to be a tough one. Oregon State ranked number 11th. The Beavers going into Oregon and face those mighty Ducks. Let's go with you, Mitch. Who do you got? Look on the camera. Tell people what you got.
Yeah, so for this game, I haven't been a believer in the Ducks all season. I'm still not a believer in the Ducks. Oregon State's got a good defense. Give me the Beavers.
All right. Mitch takes the Beavers. Kirby, I thought I sent this to you. I apologize. Who do you got?
I don't do research on it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. No, I respectfully disagree with my boy Mitch over there. I tell you what, Oregon State's looked pretty good, but Oregon, other than their first slip up, man, they have looked impressive. I think Bo Nix and the Ducks.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the Ducks as well. Again, everybody's doing some really creative preparation here. The Ducks have put all of their players in hyperbaric chambers for the last 4 days. They're going to come out ready to play. So I'm going to have to go with the very, very, very hungry. Yeah. Very, very hungry there. All right. In the Who Cares Bowl, we've got the number 2 Ohio State Buckies. Is it Buckies?
I think so. Something like that. Maybe the Walnuts.
The Walnuts. The Ohio State Walnuts versus the number 3 ranked Michigan Wolverines in, as they would say on television, the Big House. Kirby, who do you got?
Well, I mean, I guess
I want you to think about it.
Okay.
Mitch, who do you got?
I haven't been a believer in Michigan all season there without head coach Jim Harbaugh, and JJ McCarthy. I don't think he's that good of a quarterback. I'm going to go ahead and take Ohio State in this game.
Wow. Kirby, who do you have? I know who you have.
Well, yeah, we still have our head coach as opposed to A&M. So I'm going to go ahead and go after the Buckeyes.
So A&M, thank you for your pick. Thank you for thinking about your pick. We do have a coach. He's just drastically underpaid compared to what Jimbo's making.
Okay.
Doing nothing. All right. So interesting stuff about this game. Apparently at the Gap, they have been working round the clock pressing khakis. Just in preparation of this game. So for that reason and that reason alone, I'm going to have to go with the Harbaugh-less Wolverines on that one. All right, let's move to the professional ranks.
Okay.
You know, Thanksgiving's a big day for football. It's a big day for family, football, and food. The three Fs of fun, which makes it the fourth F. Washington Commanders?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Okay. Washington Commanders rolling into Dallas to play the mighty Dallas Cowboys. Some people might even call them America's team.
Well, I definitely wouldn't.
Okay. Mitch, why don't you give us your pick? You seem to be ready to go.
I'll definitely be taking the Cowboys in this game. They've looked good. They've looked good all season at home, and playing on Thanksgiving, you can never bet against the Cowboys.
All right, Kirby, who do you got?
No, I think that Dak Prescott and the Cowboys look really good against terribly shitty teams. And that's what the Commanders are. So I think that what will happen is the Cowboys will roll them and everyone will start saying that they're Super Bowl teams until they have to play a winning team. So Cowboys.
Yeah, I think everybody's heart was warmed on Sunday when Jerry finally said to Jimmy Johnson, first coach under his leadership, that Jimmy Johnson is finally going to be inducted in the Cowboys Ring of Honor, only to find out 3 days later that there is a very expensive Netflix documentary on the early 90s Cowboys, and 4 Netflix cameras were surrounding that announcement. So all the happy feelings are a little different now. Even so, I'm going to go with the Dak Prescott-led Dallas Football Cowboys to win that game by no less than 47 points. All right, Kirby. I picked one game for each of us this week. Okay. This is your game. The Cleveland Browns, who are now have some quarterback issues, injury issues, at the Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
Let's let you go on this one.
Yeah. So what's been fascinating to me about the Browns, and I'm a Browns fan, is they're 7-3 and they haven't had a quarterback all year. Like they haven't had one game of NFL caliber quarterback play all year. Like, so I'm going to go with their defense against Russell Wilson, who has looked pretty good on some crappy teams. So I think the Browns.
All right, Kirby, you're not Kirby. He's Kirby, but you're Mitch. Are you going to go with the fight and massage therapist, or are you going to let Russ cook?
I'm going to go ahead and let Russ cook. They've been hot the last 2 games. I don't see why they stop anytime soon.
Yeah, so I went to a food kitchen in Denver this week, kind of quietly, and interestingly enough, they were letting Russ cook in that food kitchen. So I'm going to have to go with the Bronco. Yeah. All right, last game. Some might call this the game of the year. Some might call it the game of the decade. Mitch would call it the game of the century. The Baltimore Ravens going into Los Angeles and SoFi Stadium and playing Mitch's beloved Los Angeles Chargers. Mitch, why don't you tell us who's going to win that game, even though you haven't had a head coach for 3 years?
Well, Chargers don't really have a home field advantage, so SoFi Stadium doesn't really make a difference. I'm going to take the Ravens in this game. As long as Brandon Staley is the head coach of that football team, I will never trust the Chargers.
Okay, some very hot opinions from a very frustrated Los Angeles Chargers fan. Kirby, who do you got? Baltimore or Los Angeles?
I think Mitch and I are on the same page on this one. I want Brandon Staley to not suck as a coach, but he has not given me any evidence to prove that. And Lamar Jackson is pretty legit. So Ravens.
No, and I am too going to go with the Ravens, but I do have a prediction. I think at halftime that Staley is going to be fired as head coach, and they're going to bring in Kellen Moore as an interim head coach for the second half of that game, and they're actually going to take points away from the Chargers for that move. So I see no path for the Chargers to win at all. All right, so those are our picks.
Nice
Mitch,
job,
you're free
Mitch.
to go, or if you want to hang out while I read the final outro here. It's Thanksgiving. I'm thankful this guy's home. His brother's coming home in a couple days. Really excited about that. But what I'm really thankful for is a company like Evans, who not only tries to do everything they can to make the lives of their distributor partners easier, they do it through communication and things like that. We've documented that. But more importantly, or just as importantly is probably a better way to put it, it's the products, the merchandise. They have products and merchandise that fit easily into any life and any lifestyle. In the kitchen, in the office, on the go, you name it, they've got it. They even have amazing packaging options to help you give that little extra gift this time of year, which I think we all love. So you want to learn more? Mitch knows you want to. Kirby knows you want to. I sure as heck know you want to. Head over to evans-mfg.com. You won't be sorry you did. Now, Kirby, as we say goodbye, I wish you and your lovely bride a happy Thanksgiving and all your crew, and we will talk to you next week.
Hope you had a happy birthday, buddy.
Thanks, pal.